Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Congressman Nick Langworthy was in Elmira today to address the migrant crisis that the state of New York is facing. Maggie Hall was there and brings us the details.
Today, Congressman Langworthy was here at the Chemung County Courthouse to address the migrant crisis that New York State is facing and to directly address Governor Hochul.
New York is facing a health and safety crisis that is a direct result of Democrats' dangerous open border sanctuary city and sanctuary state policies.
Hundreds of thousands of migrant individuals and asylum seekers poured into New York State after the COVID-era Title 42 policy expired earlier this year.
New York City, the governor herself told me a few months ago that 40 to 50% of New York City's hotels were full of migrants that have come to this country illegally.
The congressman was joined by Representative Chris Friend, Assemblyman Phil Palmisano, Elmira Mayor Daniel Mandel, and Senator Tom O'Mara, all who are in support of the H.R. 2 bill.
It's time to stop the political nonsense and put America first. And it starts with the Senate taking action on H.R. 2, which is the House bill on border security. It would finish our wall. It would give our customs agents and our Border Patrol the tools that they need to do their job, and it would clean up the asylum process in the United States of America. The Senate could pass this tomorrow if they wanted to go back to work.
Upstate New York counties saw a sweep of state of emergencies when Title 42 expired, considering the possibility that migrant individuals would be sent to upstate New York counties as New York City overflows.
And that's why I really salute the counties of the Southern Tier that have declared the state of emergency to prevent this problem from coming immediately to our neighborhoods. Because if that had not happened, at the moment it did, you're damn right, Kathy Hochul would have been looking at some real cheap housing stock comparatively. Imagine what it costs in Manhattan to house people in a hotel room on a daily basis. Now imagine that in comparison to what it would cost to get in a hotel room in Horseheads.
Congressman Langworthy urges Governor Hochul and New York City Mayor Eric Adams to repeal the sanctuary status of the state and the city. Big Fox News will continue to bring you updates on the migrant crisis in New York City and New York State as a whole and how they impact our upstate counties. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Ithaca police are on the lookout for and warning residents about an armed and dangerous suspect in the area. On Monday, officers responded to reports of a theft at Fairgrounds Memorial Parkway involving a suspect with 2 machetes. Police say 27-year-old Terry Short took off from that scene and is considered armed and dangerous. Authorities advise anyone who happens to see Short to not engage and to contact authorities immediately. The Mark Twain Golf Course was closed for the day due to heavy flooding. The city of Elmira sharing these photos of the course on Facebook. The golf course suffered flooding due to heavy showers and thunderstorms that have continued into tonight. The golf course was assessed to not even be usable on foot with puddles stretching from holes 8 to 18. The Mark Twain Golf Course plans to reassess tomorrow and let players know when they will open back up. If you plan on watching the Watkins Glen NASCAR race this weekend, be on the lookout for a special car that's honoring first responders. Talladega winner Jeb Burton will be driving number 27, an ode to first responders everywhere. This is the 3rd year in a row that an Xfinity first responders car will be driving in the race. This car serves as a reminder of the unwavering dedication and sacrifices made by all first responders who put their lives on the line to care for others. Former President Donald Trump is now facing his 4th criminal case this year. His supporters, though, say it's all political. Rebecca Castor has more.
Donald Trump's attorneys say he committed no crimes and pledged to fight his latest indictment in court.
The law is completely nonpartisan.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis fighting back after accusations that her case against former President Trump is politically motivated. On Monday, a grand jury indicting Trump and 18 of his allies in connection with their actions to overturn the 2020 election results. Supporters of the former president argue it's another attempt by the Biden administration to weaponize the Justice Department.
It's ironic that they waited 2.5 years to try and now have it in 6 months. The reason was they wanted to mess him up right in the middle of a campaign. They wanted to line him up so that he's tied up in court.
Mr. Trump telling Fox the indictment, quote, is a continuation of the greatest and longest-running witch hunt in American history. Democrats, meanwhile, are praising the move.
It is so important that we actually hold folks accountable here for what they did in trying to overturn the election.
Prosecutors are pressing for a trial to start within the next 6 months. All 19 defendants have until next Friday to turn themselves in. Legal experts, though, say they face an uphill battle in court.
Because it was brought under the racketeering statute, it's going to be very hard to get an appellate review to knock this out on threshold questions. Racketeering cases are largely fact cases.
Despite his legal troubles, the former president continues to hold a wide lead over his Republican challengers. In Atlanta, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
In Maui, only a quarter of the impact zone from last week's wildfires has been searched so far, but almost 100 victims have already been found and more are expected in the coming days. Jake Karalexis has the latest from the island.
A whole city destroyed. Generations of native Hawaiian history turned into ruin.
It's been a week since the massive wildfire broke out in West Maui, and officials here are still assessing the damage. Only 25% of the burn zone has been surveyed, and the remains of 99 victims have been recovered so far. Thousands remain homeless, and President Biden says more help is on the way, promising more federal resources as the recovery effort ramps up.
Every asset they need, will be there for them. We will be there in Maui as long as it takes.
But anxious residents are getting impatient with the speed of the response. Some say they've had little communication with either the state or federal governments, and they're starting to doubt help will be there for them in the long term.
You need to step it up and just prove it right now. Prove that Lahaina is going to come first over everything right now. You know, that the people of Lahaina will not get displaced.
And as folks wait for the green light to return to what's left of their homes, local aid groups are stepping up their activities on Maui. Many of the volunteers were displaced themselves, and they say helping others is part of the healing process.
I was devastated. I was a wreck. I needed mental health, and I considered myself a strong leader, but it broke me. It still breaks me. This is what keeps me going, helping people.
And as first responders continue combing the area, Hawaii's governor warns the death toll could double. In Maui, Jake Karalexis, Fox News.
Retirees could be seeing a cut to their Social Security checks in the future. The nonprofit Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget reports a major reduction of benefits could occur in 2033. The report says newly retired dual-income couples could have their checks cut by more than $17,000 a year. Policy experts say Congress needs to act. Some Democratic lawmakers suggest removing the cap that allows higher income earners to be exempt from the Social Security payroll tax, while some Republican lawmakers say raising the retirement age to 70 is a better solution. Still ahead, we have your complete forecast. Plus, UBS to pay $1.4 billion over 2018 mortgage fraud claims. And Mark Zuckerberg out of town as Elon Musk threatens to fight. We have those stories and more coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. The active weather pattern is going to continue for the rest of this work week, but taking a quick look back at the active weather that we had from Monday evening into Tuesday morning, accumulations, especially for the local area, ranging anywhere from that inch to almost 2 inches of precipitation, allowing for some of those flooding concerns, but we did see that diminish early in the morning. But we have been lingering underneath these very gray skies, cool conditions, but still sparking up a few thunderstorms. Now we're noting that it is still staying on the more scattered to isolated side and starting to pull its way out. But what we want to see here through the overnight is, one, we have some fog and gloomy conditions through the overnight, but we have these southerly winds that are in place, light enough to allow for that fog development, but still a little bit of a southerly pull. So that's what pushing more of that moisture in place to allow for that fog development and to keep us from really seeing significantly dropping temperatures, still though on the cooler side into those lower 60s. And it is going to be a gloomy start to the day with more of those overcast skies, as mentioned, some fog, and then can't rule out maybe a few more sporadic showers. But there is some signal that we're expecting to bring in that sunshine by the end of the day and then keep that sunshine for some seasonable conditions on Thursday. But we'll shut down that seasonal sunshine with a quick cold front as we work our way into our Friday, and then finally after that system, we'll have some more settled weather take us into the weekend and into early next work week. Now, first setting up as we look at the system, what we have is a low pressure system was spinning its way across portions of the Great Lakes, and it's now working its way across New York. Now, with it being this overnight event, that severe threat has started to fall apart now, but there still is some sporadic showers and some rumbles of thunder with a few brief downpours. As we head into Wednesday, you see generally still overcast skies. Some of those sporadic showers, maybe a rumble of thunder possible, but generally seeing that we should be working into some drier conditions and some brighter conditions as we head our way into Thursday. So with the potential of getting some of those brighter skies and that system moving out and still keeping a touch of that southerly wind to start the day, by the end of the day it's going to be a little bit more northwesterly. It is going to allow for us for still near seasonable temperatures. With the lack of sunshine, you'll still get a little bit of that cooler feel, especially within some of those showers, but if we can get that sunshine, we should have more seasonable conditions. Now, we should Thursday, a-okay. That is the day that we for sure are not looking at any precipitation through the daytime. This should be a more seasonable day where we have highs into those low to mid 80s. Now, when we have some settled conditions Thursday, it quickly picks up again into Friday, where one, we're going to have some stronger winds in place, getting upwards about 30 miles per hour. Winds will start out of the south in the early portion of the day, but then come out of the northwest, which is going to bring us more of that fall-like feel with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. It's looking to be an early arrival in the day, so that means that the severe threat is on the lower side, but we'll keep an eye on that threat, and then we will work into more of that settled weather for the weekend forecast.